In this video, I want to show you how you can build a completely free SEO tool stack that's capable of generating you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of searches from Google every month. I really wanted to challenge myself in this one because SEO tools can get expensive when you start stacking them up. And if you're just starting out, you're just learning how to do SEO, or you're an individual freelancer or a small business, it's too expensive to get all these expensive tools and all these briefing tools. The cost can add up to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month. But I knew there were some great free options out there. I use a lot of them. They save me a lot of money and they get me amazing results. I've realized you can create an amazing SEO tool stack for free that's capable of doing your initial keyword research, doing your complete website audit and technical analysis, carrying out competitor research, creating content briefs that are almost guaranteed to rank, and tying it all up with the final touches of optimization or re-optimization of pages. So we're going to take this in order, and I'm going to show you each tool you need along the way to build a great SEO strategy. Starting off with your keyword research. That's where most people start. They look to see, is there any volume? How hard is it going to be to rank? And what topics are available for me to attack? Starting off, we've got Shuttle SEO, which is a new tool I've come across, but it's actually one of the few that is completely free. This is going to give you hundreds of thousands of keyword ideas potentially based on what people are really searching on Google, the questions they're asking. So, give you a quick rundown. You could go in and type surfing in Australia. Hit find keywords, and it's going to go off and do some research for you. And boom, in a minute or two, it's going to come back. It's got 55 questions, which are essentially 55 long tail keywords that if you were, for example, a travel company in Australia looking to target surfing, you could go and answer all these questions in a sequential order. The cool thing about this tool, unlike a lot of free tools, it actually gives you the volume. So you can see that actually some of these are quite low volume. So it might take a little more research just to see, is it worth it or not? Or using a bit of instinct to see whether it's worth actually going after these search terms. But we can also see the competition and the CPC here, which is another handy metric. Where to surf in Australia, 110 volume, competition 4, so probably pretty low, and a low CPC. So a good sort of top of funnel piece of content there. So you can go through and start filtering this out. Surfers in Australia, there's loads of questions here that you could go through, versus terms and all sorts of like that. So that's a great place completely for free to get question-based keywords with data that you can start adding into your strategy and basically start building topical authority. Now, along with this, I'd probably also go to alsoask.com, which is a similar tool, but it's going to give you a different set of results basically. So what do we have? Surfing in Australia is going to be our sort of keyword niche here. So we could do a quick live search there on Also Ask, which is going to give you, I think they give you 3 free searches a day. After that, you're going to have to start paying. But honestly, the amount of information you're going to get off 3 searches, if you've got a defined niche, is going to give you enough content ideas for weeks and months. And what's cool about Also Ask is it actually kind of builds you out a topic map already. So you can kind of see how you build a content strategy and develop topical authority using this. You can get, the main overarching question, does Australia have good surfing? Then you've got a list of other questions which you can build into your briefs if it's a single page, or actually go and write. These are probably all different articles. What is Australia's best beach? Can you surf in Australia all year round? You've got so many questions to go and answer here for your content already that between those two tools, you're going to get great results. You can even expand and go a little bit further and keep searching. Now, to top it off, I would also go and use SEMrush. SEMrush is a keyword research tool which gives you 10 free searches a day. We could put the keyword into SEMrush. On the free tier, you can get a free account and it's going to start giving us loads of data. We can see that the volume behind it, the global volume and the Australian volume, see the keyword difficulty, the trend through the year, and more importantly, it's going to give us other questions and keywords with data behind them. So we can dig into that of our 10 free searches a day and start picking out more stuff and start filing by keyword difficulty and volumes and all that sort of thing. So if you just use these tools once a day for a week, you would have all the keyword research you could probably need to start building a lot of traffic to your website. So those are your 3 keyword research tools. The next thing in an SEO strategy, we might start looking at a website audit, whether that's the content audit to find gaps or improvements we could make, or looking at a complete technical audit if that's something you want to do as well. There's free tools that can do all of this job for you, particularly for small and medium-sized websites. You've got to start off with Google Search Console. This is going to get you 70% of the way there, although it's not going to help you spot all the errors. But basically, in Google Search Console, you can do a quick checkup to see, how a website is performing. You can see any errors as to reasons why pages aren't indexed. You can start looking at sitemaps. You can even go down and look at link structures, any security issues. The settings tag at the bottom here is quite cool because it gives us crawl stats, so we can see how much a website's being crawled, if there is any interruptions in that, like on that website, this website, to start diagnosing problems. A lot of what I do will revolve around Google Search Console anyway, whether I'm using paid tools or not. So this is completely free and gives us so much information, both from a technical point of view, and we can go in and start looking at keywords and maybe start to see areas where the sites have suffered a problem and why things have dropped off. So that's number one for our site audit. Now, this next tool is called Screaming Frog, and virtually every technical or high quality SEO will have heard of this tool and will have used it quite extensively. And the cool thing about it is it has a really generous free tier. So you can download it, pop your website into the top here, and get this tool to do a technical crawl of your website. You can even hook it into Google Search Console and things like that to get a full look at your website. And it's going to start crawling everything on your website. It's going to then start categorizing any issues you might have. So we can see here that it's spotted some things that have a no follow directive, any low content pages that need addressing, any images missing alt text, all those basic things. It's going to go through and look at the way the pages are sequentially ordered, all sorts of really technical stuff. But the cool thing about it, even if you're a beginner, is it gives you the priority and issue type and a little explanation. So you can even go fix it, or you can start working out what the problem means, go and maybe ask ChatGPT or Google things to find out how you can fix it. And finally, on our technical list of auditing tools, we're going to use Page Speed Insights. This is a tool from Google, so as usual, completely free, and it's going to analyze the page speed of your website and look for any issues that you have in terms of how a website loads, if it's slow, and a few other SEO factors. You can see here that it does it on mobile and desktop. You can see this site passes for mobile. You can see the largest contentful pane, how quickly the first bytes, how quickly things start to load, any shifting issues on the website, which you can see actually starts to fail a little bit on the desktop where it's got a bit over designed maybe. Then you can scroll down and see the overall performance and start to see speed index 2.1. It's not that happy with that. If we go onto mobile, we see performance 36. We want to be up in the 90s. We want to be all green. It's telling me this website is really slow to load on mobile. It even gives you a screen snapshots and gives you all the diagnostics and tells you what's wrong with your website for you to go and start fixing. Tells you accessibility and even gives you an SEO score. Next, let's move on to a little competitor research, shall we? Let's say, what were we talking about? We were talking about surfing in Australia. So if we were to go and start doing some competitor research, best place to start is on the Google SERPs itself. And obviously we can scroll down and start going through and reading this bits of content, but we want a bit of data behind that as well. This is where a tool called Keywords Everywhere comes into use. It's a little Chrome extension you can get that just gives you so much data within Google Search. You can see here on my results here, you've got all this data in here. So I can start to see, without even having to log into anything, that we can start to see the domain authority of sites, referring domains, we get backlinks, we get spam scores, we get all of this stuff for each of our competitors. Adding to this on the right-hand side, it even tells us our SEO difficulty out of 100, whether it's a branded query, on-page difficulty, how good our content is going to need to be, and how good our backlink structure is going to need to be. This is telling me straight away that, like, actually, a lot of people's on-page, their content isn't that good, but what's really ranking people is their backlink quality and the authority of their website. So that's straight away in my mind is, do I have an authoritative website web page? No, this could be tricky. Yes, actually, I just need to do some good content and I'm going to stand a chance of ranking. Now, what I love about this tool as well is it gives you related keywords, it gives you some long tail keywords, and now they've built in features that allow you to leverage ChatGPT. So you've got these inbuilt features here. You've got get user search intent, analyze content type, cluster all keywords, analyze titles, check rankability for search, suggest anchor tags. So we could say analyze content type, use ChatGPT, and it's going to put a prompt in there and run that straight away to analyze the content type. And we can start to see it building it straight away. It's first telling us actually 3 of these pages, 1, 2, and 8, are list posts. So we're probably going to need to do a list post. Landing page for services is 3 and 4. and opinion editorials is 5. So, and then editorial encyclopedic is 6 and 7. So you can say there's a little bit of a mixed search intent here, but if we were to write a really good list post, then we're going to have a good opportunity to start ranking in the top 10. Or if we want to put a service page in there, then there is an opportunity to do that as well. It's a bit mixed on what people are looking for, whether they're looking for information or commercial terms. But you can see the power of keywords everywhere. When you start linking it in with ChatGPT and those services, you can get a lot of insight for your SEO strategy. And then an added bonus for competitor keyword research is an extension called Detailed SEO. This is going to be able to give you lots of information when you're actually looking at a page. You'll be able to instantly see the meta title, the meta descriptions, the URL structure, any issues. What's great is you can see the word count, any keyword priorities they're chasing, and even go into the structure of the page. So this is pretty cool because if we're trying to write a competing article, we know straight away this is the structure of their page. You can start to see internal links they've got in there. You can start to see images, schema market, everything for your competitor research. So you could go and do this for the top 3 results or the top 10 results to help you get an understanding of what you're trying to rank for. Next on my list was ChatGPT, but we've kind of already touched on that already about how you could use it. There's all sorts of things you could do with ChatGPT. From feeding it information from the SERP, you could go and collate all the content from all your competitors, or the top 3 competitors, and ask it to extract the main entities that are mentioned on the page for your content briefs. Anything you can think of, if you can provide it the information, it's going to be able to help you do that. If you were to give it all your competitors' information, you could ask it to extract the main entities and build content briefs and all sorts of things like that. Of course, you could even get it to write the content, although I wouldn't advise just getting it to automatically write a brief and create content for you, because it's going to come out quite samey. If you are using AI to write, then you need to find a way of feeding it really high quality data and getting it to write engagingly. Otherwise, it's going to be best to actually get this human written or have some sort of interlink between AI and human in the process. Pure AI content might work in the short term, but in the long term, it's probably not going to be too hot for your business. So when it comes to content briefing, it's always been a bit of a stick because you can go with AI, but it can be a bit random or not really analyze the SERP to get you the information you need. But there is a tool that I remember that I used to use called Robinize, which offers free content briefing. Now, when we go into it, you can see that you get 3 briefs a month, which isn't loads, but for a small business or an individual, that could be plenty. That could be enough to get you up and running, get you posting blogs, start working to create templates and outlines in Robinize, and then moving to ChatGPT or AI tools that have some free to help expand into other topics when you sprinkle in that other bit of keyword research and other ways you're leveraging the AI to build really in-depth content briefs. But you can see Robinize is really great. Maybe you just want to use it to create content briefs, or you can actually use it to optimize pages as well. So you can see from an optimization point of view as well, this is great because we put our content in here. It's given us a grade 4 out of 10. It's a fairly difficult read, which means it's not greatly written, and the word count is only 779, whereas our typical competitors is around 3,000. So there's a lot of work to do on this, and this is why we aren't ranking. It's kind of a surfer SEO competitor. You can see all the terms that we should be putting in the content and how many. We can also go and filter that by unused, used, all that sort of thing, and add them into our content really easily. Boop, we can just click to add them. We can also get inspiration from people also ask. Again, this is great if you want to add an FAQ section or add more depth to your content. You can go and look at your competitor's outline and literally pull titles straight from your competitor's outlines, and even go and analyze the SERP to see the score of all your other competitors. Basically, you can see the top articles are well scored in this, and as it goes down, they get less and less generally. There's also a cool AI outliner as well, which is free to use. Again, you can start adding this into your content brief and your article outline to start making improvements, even add metadata, generate titles and generate descriptions in there. This is all free. This is all in a free package. So this is great if you have you're wanting to put 1 article out a week or something like that. This is going to be great for you. Okay, so we've done our keyword research, we've done our technical analysis, we've got our website audit, we've checked our competitors, we've come up with our content ideas, we've built our content briefs, we've written our content. Now that's all left to do is get it published and make sure it's optimized on our site. Now there's 2 cool tools that I want to talk about that are really easy, they're free and great for beginners to use. The first one is called Yoast. This is like a long time SEO tool that A lot of people actually, it's the first SEO tool they ever use because it's a WordPress plugin. You install it on your WordPress and you can start sort of getting a feel for how your SEO is scoring on your page. Scroll down to the bottom of a post and you'll see it at the bottom here, and you can start adding your target keyword in here. And it's going to start giving you a little score on how you perform generally as best practices go. You can start to see it's giving you a few hints, like saying your key phrase is not in the first paragraph, you haven't used it at all in your text, it's not in your attributes of your website, but also it's going to give you some like, hey, you're doing a good job. You're getting outbound links in there, you've got images in there, the key phrase or the key word is in the title of your web page, all these sorts of things, which is great, which is a great little traffic light system. Although getting all green lights doesn't guarantee you're going to rank, it's a good indication of whether you're sort of doing best practices with your work, with what you're trying to achieve. You can also go further down and do some more advanced stuff, but that's the basic free way that you're going to be able to leverage that. So that's a really useful free tool. The other one here is called Link Whisper. Once we started publishing plenty of content on our website, one secret trick for SEO is internal linking. You want to create a nice spider's web of content so that any searches fired out into sort of the Google universe are going to catch in your web of content, basically. It's going to help you get more website users, and it's going to help build your topical authority with Google. Link Whisper is another SEO plugin that you can use that's going to suggest internal links from one page of your website to another. It's not always 100% accurate, but it gives you some good ideas to go down and say, like, okay, we should be doing some internal links, something that this site could improve on a lot. You can see here that I've mentioned Key Stage 1 in this blog post, and actually we've got another page about Key Stage 1 and the SATs in the UK, which should be an internal link. This is a golden opportunity. And the beauty of this tool is you can hit copy, it will scroll you to the text, and you can go and add in the internal link on your page. That's a really beautiful extra free SEO tool you can use. I guess the only thing left to do is build some backlinks. Now, if you want to check the authority of your website and some of the backlinks coming to your website or your competitors, then Ahrefs does have a free section that can give you an overview of this. It's their website authority checker. So you could go and put in your website or your competitor's website here and check your authority. This is going to help you do a little understand where you're at or do a comparison against your competitors. This is obviously a strong domain rating of 82 with millions of backlinks to its site, but we could also go and have a little look at the backlinks as well. We could go to their backlink checker and it's going to start giving us an overview of the sort of links they have, basically. But for most people, this gets quite advanced, and that rounds out a banging set of SEO tools that are going to get you from zero to a full SEO strategy that if you go and execute, you're going to be able to generate tens of thousands of searches to your website every single month.